You mentioned the I'm gonna put you on the spot, Eric. You mentioned all the star quarterbacks are not playing well. You didn't mention Justin Herbert, so maybe he's not a star quarterback in your eyes, but he also has one good
No
hand.
lies told.
Okay, so I see what you're doing there. I see this is heel Eric, so I like that. But he has one hand. Maybe I know you're not a doctor. Maybe you kind of tell us how that could affect the Chargers. But you know, do you see like a slide or kind of some kind of fade here for the Chargers with Herbert having one hand, a bad O line? They're still waiting on the running back Hampton to come back. The defense has actually been up and down for a while now.
Yeah.
They have a difficult schedule starting against Philly on Monday night. So I'll put the question to you: how many wins do the Chargers need to make the playoffs, and can they get to that number?
I think the number's 10, and I think they can get to it. And give Justin credit. He's been playing injured, playing behind a makeshift offensive line, and really kind of willing those teams to victories by the way that he's played, both, making plays with his arm, making plays with his feet. So, give him credit. I don't think we can take that away from him. But I still don't feel like he's, playing like one of the top 5 or 8 quarterbacks in the league statistically when you look at it. And obviously there's reasons for that. That said, Harbaugh is one of the best coaches in the league. And I just feel like he is able to kind of get guys motivated week in and week out, which I think is one of the hardest things to do in the NFL. And I think some coaches like McVay and Shanahan that are considered kind of X's and O's guys don't really get credit for their ability to manage and lead on a week in, week out basis. And Gil, I think you've seen that from covering the Rams. Like, it's pretty rare that McVay's teams just get smacked. Like, they usually show up every week and are competitive. And that to me is a sign of a good coach that really has the pulse of his team. And I put Harbaugh in that category. Like, that was surprising that they got waxed by the Jaguars a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
You don't see that. And so
a player told me we never got off the plane.
Ooh,
yeah,
true.
I mean, it certainly looked like that the way that they played. You don't expect that against Jacksonville. But that said, for the most part, week in, week out, Chargers show up. They're buttoned up. They make teams beat them. And so I think down the stretch, that's going to mean that they're going to be able to get to 10 wins. And I think if they get to 10 wins in the AFC, I think they have a pretty good shot to move on.
Fernando's pretty happy because I asked him that question yesterday, and I said 11 wins. I think Victor said 11 also, and Fernando went 10, which I think it's a little low when you look at the all the teams in the race for the AFC. But hey, a lot of teams have a bunch of difficult schedules, so maybe 2 is enough. 2 more wins.
The only team that to me had a difficult or an easy schedule was Houston. Eric, to me, everybody else has a very tough schedule. Like even the Broncos, who a lot of people right now are taking victory laps on. I'm like, it's only December, the beginning of December. But even Denver has a tough stretch. They play Green Bay. They still go to Kansas City. They still have the Chargers. I know this one I'm going to sound like a psychopath, but they still have to go to the Raiders, and that's not going to be a gimme, especially because last game they almost lost to the Raiders at home. So
yeah,
Denver, I mean, the Chargers, I know they need to win their games, but the AFC West is still a 2-team race, in my opinion. I don't think it's a 3-team race anymore. It's a 2-team race. But I feel like there is a lot of tough games right there. In the Colts. The Colts have a very tough schedule to end. Mm-hmm. Buffalo still has to play Cincy this weekend. Then they still have to go to New England. They still play at Philly. Like there's a lot of tough games. So that's why I had put it at 10. Too. Yeah, Jacksonville. So that's why I put it at 10, because I said 2 more wins and I think you're in. You get 3, then you might be fighting for the division at 3 wins, but it might be a tough go. The good thing is that they play Houston at home. They play the Eagles at home, and then they just have to win one of those 3. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to win these games, but they have to win a road game or 2 to really put themselves in there.
Yeah, that's what I was factoring in, the fact that they play Houston, so that would give them the tiebreaker over them. And then I think AFC conference record, aren't they one of the better?
They're 6-2 in the conference.
Right, which is another tiebreaker. So if they get the 10 wins and another team's at 10 wins, like Houston, and they have the head-to-head, that would give them the tiebreaker to be able to move on.
Yeah. Vic, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. I have something here for you, Eric. So I asked the guys a couple of weeks ago. It's before all the craziness this weekend that happened, and so this is how they have it as of before week 13. Fernando has the Bills as the 5th seed, the Chiefs as the 6th seed, and the Texans as the 7th seed. I think he had the Chargers out. So did Gilbert. He has the Bills as the 5th, the Jaguars as the 6th, and the Texans as the 7th. So my question to you here, before I asked you about the race here.
You got to throw Dan's team in there too.
Yeah,
I'm sure Eric would love to hear what. I bet you Eric could know one team that Dan put in there.
Dan was on.
No, we didn't ask Dan.
Oh, my bad. Okay, my bad. Okay.
And for context, we kept the same division leaders at the time,
we kept the same division leaders at the same time. So this is gonna lead right into my question about the AFC South division. So first, I want to know because the division leaders haven't changed. It's still the Colts, the Patriots, now it's the Ravens, I guess, and the Broncos. So if those stay the same, who would be your 5th, 6th, and 7th seeds as of right now, Eric?
No, but Jacksonville did pass Indy on the tiebreaker.
Yes, that is true.
Right.
Yeah.
So if those stay the same, that you're asking who my wild cards would be?
Yes.
Okay. Buffalo, Chargers, Texans.
Okay.
I think I'd have to go Texans over Indy.
Now,
because the Texans are playing better.
Piggybacking off of that, Vic, are you cool if I piggyback off of that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So do you believe that this is a different year in where those 3 wild cards could go into the stadium of another team and beat, like a Buffalo could go into Denver? Is that, do you feel like we're kind of at that point this year, especially with all the craziness that's happened?
Especially in the AFC. I mean, Denver's the number 1 seed, and y'all know how I feel about Denver. I mean, they keep winning games. But...
Hold on. I know what you're going. Hold on, let me. That's a fraud alert, Eric. That's a fraud alert.
I mean, give them credit for winning the games, but it hasn't been pretty.
They almost lost to Marcus Mariota. If Larry blocks Benito, Mariota wins that game. That running back was wide open.
He was wide open. All Mario had to do is pump fake and throw it around him, and it was a 2-point conversion. So, but that's why he's a backup.
He's a backup.
So they're definitely not world beaters. You definitely can get Denver. They're going to give you opportunities. And so if you're telling me Buffalo's going to Denver, I mean, Josh Allen, Bo Nix, I kind of like Josh Allen there.